We all know the contribution that companies like Amazon, Microsoft, P&G, IBM, and Chick-fil-A have made in society. There's no question that they are very successful in an understandable goal that many new entrepreneurs want to emulate. The question to ask is, how do they get there? Some companies, even dynasties like the Mali Empire with Mansa Musa, have just dominated other competitors with no resistance. But did you know that a lot of these organizations have specific qualities that the average companies don't exercise with excellence? If you listen to me, I'll explain just 3 of the proven ways of what successful companies put into practice every day to be the best. By the end of this video, these ways have been studied to work. They cost nothing for the novice entrepreneur to acquire, and they've been proven by stringent case studies to be a part of the methods of success. These 3 points will only work if you work. They will get you results if you apply them over and over again. If this will be a good use of your time, let's begin. So when I first started my company, I wasn't thinking long-term at all. It just never crossed my mind. There was no planning or strategizing or a mission statement, any of that stuff. That was just something it never crossed my mind. And I was simply just trying to make some money so that I can work for myself and have the flexibility to travel when I wanted to. But if I would have done things differently, then I could have sold my business and probably would have been 100,000 there instead of just simply stopping my operations once I moved out the area. So I wish I had an understanding of the things that I'm going to teach you today, and I'm not going to waste any time. So let's get into it. So the first trait that makes successful companies be who they are is core values. So basically it's a set of basic principles that plant a fixed stake in the ground. It's sort of like this is who we are, what we stand for, and what we're all about. So you could think of it as the guiding principles. It simply can't be about making profit or being rich and having all the money in the world. Look at it this way. So profit is like oxygen, food, water, and blood for the body. They're not the point of life, but without them, there is no life. So social psychology research indicates that the act of stating a core ideology actually influences behavior towards consistency with that ideology. So core ideologies are able to be pervasive in an organization and transcend any individual leader. So the purpose is to guide and inspire. Think of Jeff Bezos and Amazon. If he leaves that company or decides to retire, you already know the culture. Because of their core values, they're going to continue doing what they're doing, which is always think about the customer in mind. You want to offer exceptional customer service. This is what Jeff Bezos fixated on. He always thought about the customer. He thought about how can he make his services better for that customer. And so that mindset and that ideal is just, it's embedded in the culture, or at least the corporate culture, or in the structure of Amazon, and it's going to just continue even if Jeff Bezos is not there. They all bought into it. So as far as being a successful company, they definitely all have core values. The second trait that successful companies have are goals. Goals are really important. It engages people, it reaches out and grabs them. It's compelling, and it needs to stimulate progress. It needs to create momentum. So it only helps the organization as long as it hasn't been achieved. So you don't want to create silly goals that you can accomplish in like 2 days. Like, no, that's not effective. You set goals that are difficult to achieve, and even when you do achieve them, you replace them with another challenging goal. It creates a sense of hubris among the company. The goal becomes the motivating mechanisms, not just getting money. It's to reach the goal that you set in front of you. Goals transcend the leader, creating consistency across different generations. So think of Sam Walton. So his goal that he mentioned was he wanted to make his first dime store the most successful store in Arkansas within 5 years. That was his goal. That's what he focused on. He focused on the customer service, low prices. You know, Walmart's always talking about low prices, and even to this day, they achieved it. Sam Walton died, I believe, in the 90s, but the goal of always trying to be the best has stuck with that organization after all these years, all these decades. Now I know the Walton family is part of the ones that make the decisions. So, but they always are trying to accomplish the next goal. So now I know when Amazon was coming in, Walmart had to look at their online store and fix some things, because I remember Walmart trying to buy items on Walmart like years ago. It was horrible. It sucked. It was slow. It was clunky. Just But now they understood that, hey, look, we might be good at brick and mortar, but now we need to get into the internet spaces and make sure that we can be one of the most successful stores as well. So goals are always continuing with the organization is really important. The third trait that successful companies have is they have a sense of culture. So successful companies tend to be more demanding of their people than any other companies, both in terms of performance and congruence with that ideology. Because these companies have such clarity about who they are and what they're about and what they're trying to achieve, they don't have patience for those unwilling to conform to their demanding standards. So they have a sort of cult-like culture around their ideologies, which causes a great tightness of fit. So people that are fit are rewarded, but people who aren't fit for the organization are penalized, and they eventually leave. And I remember being, out of all the many jobs that I worked, the companies that were legitly good, they had a culture to them. They listened to the workers, and it was very respectful. I worked in jobs that just sucked, where it was just so bureaucratic. If you wanted to suggest improvements, you really didn't have a voice, and it made me want to leave. So you can have bad cultures and you can have good cultures. These companies put more emphasis on employee training, which includes skills and professional development training. So the way they implement this culture is very three-dimensional in practice. First, they implement the culture through indoctrination. Next, they assess potential employees for tightness of fit. And then a sense of elitism comes over them because they see themselves as the most knowledgeable in the industry. What this reminds me of is actually the Patriots football team, where they have something called the Patriots way. And when new players from different teams are traded to the Patriots, these players talk about how the culture is so different than from where they came from. It's more structured, there's more discipline, and they have to fit into that culture in order to be successful, or they'll be penalized and they'll be released. So no matter how popular that player was in the other team, they know when they come to the Patriots organization, they can't be the same way. Like, they're just not going to survive. They'll be cut. Even if they're all-star, they'll be cut, because the Patriots have a certain way that allows them to win so many championships. And the Patriots by far are like the dynasty of American football teams. Like, the record speaks for themselves. What also this makes me think of is Chick-fil-A, where their customer service is just so damn good. So I mean, think of like consistently, Chick-fil-A is known for their customer service and their efficiency, their politeness, and then of course the quality of food. But if you just focus on the customer service, just take the average Chick-fil-A that you visited, and then take the average Popeyes or McDonald's. You can obviously tell the difference in the way that they treat their customers and the way they treat you when you're ordering something. Just the customer service is so different, and that just comes with the amount of training that they do for their employees. So let's do a recap on all the points. So the first one that successful companies have are core values. So this is the why of the organization and why it exists. It's meant to bring clarity on whatever action and decision must align with. So without it, the company is just soulless. So the core value is what allows for the guiding principles to be based on, and that in turn is what keeps the successive management teams in line with the company's initial core values. Very important. The second trait that successful companies have are goals. So if you don't know where you're going, someone else will make a decision for you. Goals are meant to inspire a company to do the stuff that average companies don't. It helps with morale and builds a sense of hubris in the organization. When you have that within a company, the journey towards that goal is what chisels a successful company in the race. Also, once that goal is reached, it must be replaced with another ambitious goal in order to prevent mediocrity. You don't just rest. You don't just stop. The market is always changing. The market is always moving. Countries are always moving. The countries are always changing. And if you just rest, then you're going to be left behind eventually. And in a lot of cases, you're not going to be able to catch up to where you once were. The third trait that a lot of successful companies have is they have a well-defined culture. So it is accomplished by orientation and ongoing training programs, internal universities, tight screening processes, awards and public recognition, constant verbal and written emphasis on corporate values and heritage. The point is to build an organization that fervently preserves its core ideology in specific concrete ways. So these ideologies then translate into tangible mechanisms aligned to send a consistent set of reinforcing signals. What also happens in a company is it becomes more decentralized with greater operational autonomy than other less successful companies. So meaning people don't necessarily need rules, but basic guideposts, because they have fully bought into and are committed to the company's culture. You don't have to baby walk them or baby step them or hold employees' hands and tell them exactly what to do. If there's a culture in place and you have everyone understands what the mission is, people are free to use their critical thinking skills and make the best decision for the company at that time. So they have space to try new stuff. And even if they make mistakes, the company is understanding at least understanding that people are always going to make mistakes, and you can't demonize people for making mistakes. It destroys morale. So people are given the freedom to do what they need to do, and they can challenge even the so-called managers or bosses, respectfully, if they can see a better way of doing things. So it's because of the culture of that company allows for people to be free and give a sense of pride in knowing that their work is meaningful and their voices are heard. So if you don't know how to get started and you're trying to implement some of this in your own business that you're creating, here are some action steps that you can try out. So number one, write down 3 of your most important business goals within 30 seconds. The answers you come up with in 30 seconds will be just as accurate if you were to take 3 hours. So just take 30 seconds, just write out whatever that are your most important business goals. Just write it out as whatever comes to your head first. Number 2, think about how you want your company to be perceived in your industry and write that down. Think of Jeff Bezos and Amazon. What's the first thing you think of Amazon? So, what's the first thing you want your company to be perceived in your chosen industry? So write that down. Think about it and write that down and be thoughtful about it. Number 3, start writing down SOPs as best as you can. You can always refine them later. The purpose of this action is to get better predictability of results as soon as possible. You want consistency in your products and services. It allows you to easily train someone else. So start writing them down. If you're doing something, if it's just you, write down the steps of what you're doing and put it in a file, and then refine them. So then when you do start to bring in new employees, it's not like it's all, you don't have to do so much to get them on board. You just give them the standard operating procedures, and then either they can complete them or they can't, but you can make a quicker decision on if you keep them or not. So start writing that stuff down. And then number 4, think of a company that you respect and praise. Then think of a company you don't respect and absolutely dislike. Now write the top reason for why you like the one company and why you hate the other company. Then stand back and just take a mental note of where you want to be with your own company, what part of the spectrum you want to be. Now, promise me and yourself today that you'll take the first action and try whichever one of these points you think that can help you the most. Was this video helpful to you? And are there any relevant topics that you would like for me to do a video on? If you do have some ideas, then please make a note or write a message in the comment section down below so that I can view it. Also, check out this video's description box and you'll see some helpful sources that I've offered and created for you guys. So for instance, my course on how to build a solid business foundation that can lead you to generational wealth. Now, say you're already working on your business and you have more specific needs, then you can go to my website, businesscenter101.com, and book a consulting session with me, and I can help you with whatever problems that you're going through. Also, I'm going to leave a link for an ebook that basically it talks about 50 ways to be a billionaire in Nigeria. Now, you can take these ways, you can do it anywhere in Africa, but it was created for Nigeria first. And what I like about it is it does have case studies, it does have SWOT analysis of these ideas, so it's completely free. Just click in the video's description and just click on that, and you'll get the download, and there you go. So really easy. If you enjoy what you've seen today and you want to be a part of the West African tribe, then definitely subscribe to my channel and make sure to click the bell so that you're alerted when I do drop and release new videos. And if you feel that this video can help someone else, or you know someone that can benefit from this video, then please like this video and also share it with them. Till then, I'll catch you in the next video.